This is genuinely the most snow I've ever seen. There's so much powder.
Powder days. Clearly people get really excited about fresh snow, but perhaps you're the type of skier that finds it really difficult, kind of intimidating and exhausting.
Oh, I was so scared at the top. That was so steep.
In this video, we're going to take an intermediate powder skier, Esme. I'm going to teach her the tricks of the trade, and by the end of it, she's going to be feeling confident, loving powder days, and able to go out skiing powder with her friends.
So if I go that way, I'm fine.
Yeah, do it. Go for it.
Oh,
Yay! Nice one. So if you're watching this at home, we're going to share some great tips with you. We're going to tell you what's really going on underneath the snow and help you understand how great skiers can just glide effortlessly through the powder and the trees. Hi, I'm Demelza Clay. I'm a level 4 coach, and I've also worked as a heli and cat guide. And today we are in beautiful BC, Canada in the Monashee Ranges with Monashee Powder Snowcats. It's been dumping and we're going to have an amazing day. All right, so tell us a little bit about your skiing.
So I've been skiing since a young age, about the age of 2. My dad taught me.
Come on, Esme.
I mainly ski on groomed piste and only very rarely venture off the train into the powder when I'm following kind of family and friends.
Right. What is motivating you to take this challenge on and learn to ski powder?
I've got some friends who are really amazing skiers and I just want to be confident enough to follow them on any terrain off into powder and not feel nervous or slow them down.
So we're here in the mountains, we're cat skiing. How are you feeling about going skiing today in the powder and taking that challenge on?
I'm super excited, but I am a little bit nervous, especially when the terrain gets steeper and the powder gets deeper.
All right, and so for all the Carv fans out there, Carv question, what's your ski IQ right now?
My ski IQ for normal carving is 135.
Okay, all right. All right, Esme, so we're going to get in that snowcat over there and we're going to go to the top of this mountain. We're going to get some turns in. So put some baseline turns in with Carv, see what the data comes back as. I'm going to do a little analysis and then we're going to get started.
Amazing.
How does that sound? Sick. Hey guys, just a reminder that skiing in the backcountry has its inherent risks. We are here in a cat skiing tenure in the backcountry with a guide. We're carrying all the essential equipment, avalanche transceiver, shovel, probe, and we've had some training to be out here and operate as a team safely. So make sure if you're going to go out and learn to ski powder in the backcountry that you're being responsible.
Go get them, Tiger.
Okay, let's do this. Oh boy!
That's incredible.
Woo!
Oh, geez.
Skiing in powder can be really tough because your skis are immersed deep inside the snow and they're really tough to turn.
That was really nice. I was so scared at the top. This snow is absolutely crazy.
Also, there's an acceleration factor in powder. It's very unpredictable. People don't understand that the powder can slow you down. You can't really make short turns like you normally would. Okay, let's crush one more and we'll have our conversation at the top. So there's a whole different technique to mastering powder skiing.
I turned and then I spun backwards. My head straight down the legs in the air.
Fear no man.
All right, first few runs, Esme, well done. How's it feeling?
A bit tiring, a bit shaky at the top.
Yeah, lots of stuff going on, right? Yeah. So I've had a look at your skiing and what I'm seeing is that your position is really far back. You're very tall, right over your heels, which is super common. And also your feet are drifting a little bit too far apart. And you're kind of using outside ski pressure in powder, which we don't use at all. So we're going to work on bringing that stance in and helping you get more centered. Also, when I see you turning, you're kind of doing a bit of a zigzag thing, like your turn shape. You'll make a really sharp turn and then traverse across the hill. Another sharp turn, traverse across the hill. So we're going to work on a really nice flowing turn shape to make this actually a lot easier. And then lastly, when I watch you initiate your turns, your whole position stays really static. So you're not unweighting your skis and floating your skis. And when you do that, it's much easier to make turns in powder. Now let's have a look at your Carv scores to see what kind of data we got back.
So my ski IQ was 102. My parallel skis 36%, turn shape 22%, edging similarity 12%, and float was 12%.
Okay, all right. So the float, that was the comment I made about when you're looking really flat, initiating your turns. We're going to start you bouncing through the powder. So we're going to get this position here, turn it into this position here, and talk about a couple of subtle ways that you can float the ski underneath you.
Amazing.
How does that sound?
Great.
All right, let's do this.
To make really fun, efficient turns in powder, you need to learn how to create float and weightlessness by bouncing in the deep snow using the rebound qualities of your skis. But before we break this down for you, it's important to understand why skiing powder is fundamentally different from skiing on a groomer. When skiing on a groomed run, your skis remain flat against the surface of the snow. Most of us are already really comfortable maintaining balance in this position as we slide down the fall line. However, everything changes once you hit the powder. Instead of staying flat, your skis will float through the snow at an angled trajectory, with the tips rising up towards the surface while the tails sink deeper into the soft snow. To master deep snow, we have to rethink our stance. The challenge is learning how to remain perfectly balanced and centered on a ski that's floating at this specific angle.
Most people think when we're skiing powder that we need to lean back to make the powder skis float in all this deep snow. But actually, the way these skis are made, they've been designed to float. And there's a way that you can stand on the ski in the center of the ski as it sort of floats down the hill. And when we do that, it's going to make it a lot easier for you to initiate turns and flow down the mountain. One of the things that you can think about down here, just think about pushing the tail of the ski down into the snow with your heel bone. Yeah, inside your boot there. So, and at the same time, you will lift your toes up towards your knees, and that is actually going to set the ski on that nice floaty position in the snow, and you can stay tall and centered on that ski. Also too, once you've got that happening, see how far you can lean over your tips. You'll be really surprised. These skis are designed to float, and it's very, very hard to get the tips to dive under. And that's what I think a lot of people are worried about when they're first in the powder. They're like, whoa, I've got to be back here.
Yeah.
Otherwise I'm going to go underneath, you know? So we're going to use this terrain here, zigzagging across the mountain, so we don't have to worry about speed control. And you're going to try and go from your old position to your new position, playing around with these new movements and feelings we've been talking about. So come on here and follow me.
Amazing.
Stay nice and high. Get those skis floating underneath you. Shin pressure. Very good. Woo! Whoa, all right, that was good. See, you still didn't manage to dive the tips, right?
No, I know, I was leaning quite far forward.
Do you feel more confident in the ski now?
Yeah, I trust it more.
The position is way better now. Now, remember how your float scores in Carv were quite low?
Yeah.
What we're going to do now down here is figure out how to turn your ski into a trampoline. So if your ski is a trampoline, then you're going to be able to use the bouncy qualities in this ski to help you feel weightless in between turns. And I want you to push, first of all, down into the snow, okay?
Okay.
Rather than the move that you're making now is you're trying to jump up from this low position and you're not getting the flex into the ski. So take a line, fresh line. Yeah, nice. Hey, woo! Jumping up versus pushing down.
I thought that you had to jump up when you were in powder. I didn't realize that you pushed your skis down. It was super fun. I really enjoyed that feeling.
Yeah, the ski was pushing you though, right? You had all this
yeah.
like effortless energy.
Yeah.
Okay, so how's that feeling?
Really good, much better.
Much better, feeling kind of light and bouncy through the
Tips
powder?
are feeling like they're getting out the powder now.
Yes, yes, perfect. So down here, think about that rhythm and using the perpetual bouncing motion of the ski to create like tighter turns that will give you better speed control and also a much better turn shape score. So you'll bounce down again, and then when you're high, just think about turning your feet around the corner. Yeah. And then once you've landed, after that turn, just flow into it. Bounce, 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 turn. Point them down the hill, point them down the hill. Nice. All right. Okay, hands forward.
Oh no, I'm not going to bash into a tree.
Oh my God, nice one. Okay, awesome, awesome. Did you notice when you did your turn, where did your position kind of land a little
A
bit?
bit further back.
Yeah, yeah. And what you can do to deal with that is when you make your bounce, you kind of do your pole plant, just like you normally would, but then punch the air with your outside hand and keep those hands nice and forward. Speed, push, turn. Push, turn. Push, turn. Push into the snow and punch. Ooh, good. Okay, hands, push, hands. Good, push. Nice. Woo! She's doing well. Right on, so we've been working on our float. Now let's use Carv to help us train that same skill set. So we're in the coaching mode here. You've got your earbuds in and we're selecting the floating in deep snow skill set. And as you ski down the hill here, you're gonna hear a positive sound when you do it well, a nice floaty transition. And then you'll hear kind of like a down, like negative sound when you don't do it well. So you get some immediate feedback as to how well you're performing that skill as you're skiing down the slope. All right, let's do this.
You've got this. Congratulations. You passed level 1 on floating in deep snow.
Okay, twist. Oh, better.
Congratulations. 126 ski IQ. That's your best score today.
Oh, it's talking to me. 126 ski IQ. New best score today.
Yes. Awesome. Okay.
So, yesterday when my ski IQ was 102,
Yep.
the float metric was 12%.
Okay.
And then now,
Oh, 68%.
68%.
Fantastic. Well, you've definitely improved your float scores.
Yep.
Your floating is working better. You're like up higher in the snowpack. So let's think about that two-footedness
Keeping them together.
all the time.
Okay,
Yeah,
got you.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Nice
sick.
one. Congratulations. So good. Okay, let's go. All right. Nice one. Okay, so you know how we were talking about your turn shape before?
Yeah.
Originally, it was like a zigzag style turn shape. And so now we're skiing more to the bottom of the hill and we've flattened out those zigzags. What's the main thing that's kind of slowing us down now?
The snow.
Yes, exactly. And you can really feel that, hey? Yeah. So we're using the snow to slow us down. And that is what's allowing us to keep our turn shape nice and direct to the bottom of the hill and that rhythm bouncing up and down. It's all about the power.
Feels amazing.
In powder, everything comes down to turn shape. And actually, this is where the real fun lives. A good turn shape keeps your speed consistent, your skis floating, and the movement flowing naturally from one turn to the next. A bad turn shape slows you down, makes your skis sink, and breaks the flow entirely. That's why turn shape matters so much. And with Carv, we're able to track it and see exactly what's happening in every turn.
We can use Carv to measure this skill. It's called taking the right line in the powder. And it's a combination of being able to use the snow to slow us down and using the right turn shape and the right line so that the turns can be really effortless and bouncy and super fun. Get some speed going, good, nice bouncing. Got the rhythm, oh, look at those hands. All right, okay, whoa.
Fantastic work. You passed level 4 on taking the right line.
Okay, what could you hear?
Oh, positive dings.
Yeah?
It told me I leveled up to level 4.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Notice how my turn shape, if you have a look, after in the transition between the two arcs, you can see my track in the snow is pretty shallow.
Yeah.
And then as my skis push into the snow, they whip across the hill a little bit. Yeah. So let's see, we might even get you following me and mirroring my tracks on the right terrain. And that might be a really nice way of helping you get the hang of that rhythm and timing.
Yeah, sounds good.
Alrighty, let's do it. Okay. Here we go. Okay, dropping.
I'd actually way rather they threw me down things like this than have to stand in front of that camera. That was so nerve-wracking.
Amazing work. You got a new best ski IQ of 130.
Highest ski IQ so far.
That's fun.
That was great. Well done. Oh my God. So good. So how did those turns feel?
So much better. It feels really, really light now.
Yeah.
And I feel like I can turn so much easier and it's just like less daunting.
Yeah.
I feel like more confident when I make a turn and that I'm not going to just like lose a ski or go squiff.
Yeah, no, I definitely see that in your skiing. Like you're able to pull up really easily. You've got a really nice sense of control when you're skiing down the mountain and you look really nice and light. So really the most important things that we've covered in this powder skiing lesson were, first of all, getting you into a more centered position on the ski from that backseat position so that you could then float the ski, which you did really well. And then we introduced the whole idea of bouncing the ski like a trampoline so you could get nice and light and feel unweighted and floating in between your turns. So that's gone really well.
It feels a million times better than it did before.
Yeah, and you're definitely not working as hard either, right? Yeah, I'm very curious to see what your Carv scores are now. All right, the big reveal. Let's have a look. What do we got here? Oh my gosh, 130. Well done. You're catching up to me now. I'll have to go practice. Parallel skis, much better. Yeah, and I think it's because you're holding your feet together a little bit.
I can feel that as well, yeah.
Better with the platform, yeah. And your float is awesome. It's now 69%. It's right in the recommended range. Early edging, edge similarity, turn closure, we could probably work on a little bit. Yep, as you get the feeling of the rhythm and everything, and then closing the turn with that leg turning idea. Yep, when you get some time on task, just like lots and lots and lots of repetition, all this stuff will come together. All right, Esme, my little powder hound, that was impressive. You've improved a ton, and I hope you're feeling a lot more confident out there.
Thank you so much. That was absolutely incredible.
Yeah, not a problem. And I hope for those watching at home that you've gotten some handy tips to help you master the powder and the off-piste. A massive shout out to Monashee Powder Snowcats for hosting us. I really hope you enjoyed this film. Thanks for watching and enjoy the pow.
Oh, can you imagine not skiing?